Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're doing Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle 2, which is the second version of the Japanese one that we played, and it's also on the US. So rather than play the same game twice, we're just going to skip the first one for US, since it's the same game, and move on to the second one. Alrighty then, so... I did not know that they go through that. Alright. Fair enough. It's pretty much the same as the first one. Does he go up the stairs? He does not. Okay, he goes through that, but not the stairs. I mean, it's virtually the same as the first one. I mean, honestly, I think the first one is a little more fun than the second one. I mean, I get it, they're trying some new stuff, and there's a lot more going on, but it's not really necessarily good. It's not necessarily bad either. It's just, it is what it is. It's still where controls are really not overly well done. Again, on a game that's so fast-paced where you have to stop and move on a dime, the fact that everything is so, like, you just kind of carry on, and it doesn't, respawn properly. Like, I changed direction, and again, it didn't do it right there. When you're moving, you're moving. It's almost like ice without being ice. And it doesn't lend itself well to this game. Oh, so you can climb up on that. That's kind of cool. But you can jump. I'm not seeing a warp anywhere. Oh, there it is. So instead of getting carrots, like we did in the first one, now we're getting keys, which kind of makes more sense in and of itself, but all in... Oh, I thought we died there for a second. That was close. I mean, all in all, it's the exact same game with a few little tweaks, few modifications. Keys instead, we have doors now that we can go into that just have a key. They didn't really fix the whole, like, kind of on ice where you can stop on a dime and change direction. But the game itself is a decent little game. I mean, it's a fun time waster, to be sure. I mean, they have the whole plethora of of characters in here. Each one, pretty much like the first one. Most of them have their own specific things that they do and or don't do. We gotta try to figure out something with this one, because I feel like we need... Is he still gonna be coming at us? He is. Like, I feel like we need... I hit the button. Like, I shot the arrow and it didn't shoot. Like I said, that's the biggest thing I feel like is on this game, is the reaction, or the response of all the buttons. Everything doesn't respond quick enough for a game that does require split-second things. I guess we're gonna have to come back to that. They stay gone, that's good. There's one thing that's nice, the enemies don't respawn. This game wouldn't work if they did. Because I feel like we need this, and we can't get it otherwise, I don't feel like. We probably screwed up, and we're probably going to need the arrow elsewhere. Unlike the first one that kind of was giving you extra lives every time, this one seems to be a little more unforgiving, which is not a bad thing. I think the first one's better off for stuff like that, for the younger kids or whatever. And then the older ones that actually enjoyed it for whatever reason, this one actually definitely makes things a little more difficult. Let's see if we can... We can't. Yeah, there's no way of doing that without killing that bird. It's too short. So it's like we have to use the arrow on Taz. And then once we do, we need to bypass the chickadee for now. Go get that one to kill it. This one does have a little bit more puzzling aspect to it. More so than the first one did, I feel. Where there's really is a certain order that you have to like do things in. There we go. Like, I was wondering why it was not getting on the thing. Ah, I screwed that up big time. Oh, no. Okay, we're good. We can climb up this. Like I said, going... See, that's the thing with this game is, it just, you want to move a little bit, and he just keeps going, and he'll go, and he won't change direction, and all this stuff. Like, the game's fine. The game plays as good as the first one did. It's an enjoyable little game. It's got a lot of the puzzling aspects with a little bit of, you know, like, enemies where it's, I don't want to say action-y at all, but there's a little bit of action with the puzzler, so to speak, where you have to kill some enemies, get weapons, do some stuff, figure things out, work on patterns. You know, it's more of a moving pattern-based puzzle than just being a puzzler, because most of the puzzle comes in with dealing with the enemies more so than the level at all. But all in all, it's a fun little game. Nothing really wrong with it. But it, just like the first one, it makes it to where you need to move more rapidly than you are actually able to. And the game does not really register keystrokes properly. Sometimes it'll register it, okay? Sometimes it won't even process it at all. Like you saw with moving, I was trying to get to the door, and it just kept moving back and forth from the door. And there's all these little issues. I think we also were missing a key. We might have been. I thought we got all the doors, but we might not have. But regardless, like, it wasn't stopping on the door. And being able to, and it just kept moving even though we wanted to go the other way. We run into problems like that a lot in this game, I feel like. Honestly, it feels a little bit more so than the first one, where a couple times I wanted to change direction and he just kept going. So, that's the biggest crux of the game. That's going to cause the most issues, the most frustration, and the most, it'd probably be the biggest crux of the game in and of itself, is the fact that you want to change position quickly, and it doesn't. So all in all, pretty much a pretty decent part 2. You know, they added a couple things like the ladders, hammers and picks, and various things that you need to get over or through certain obstacles. More so than the first one did. The first one was you really just picking up things, having a couple of items that you can drop and do stuff, which I really did like on the first one, where you actually had to plan ahead and figure out, like, the weights and the barrels and stuff, more so than this one just picking up a bow and shooting your way through. Granted, you get the one shot. But, I mean, there's enough distinct differences that really make both games different enough to play both, rather than where a lot of times you see part 2 is more of the same, to where either game is going to be the same regardless, so you don't need both, and playing both games doesn't really matter so much. Where this one, at least they're different enough that you could, in theory, play both of them and have different experiences, as opposed to certain puzzlers where 1, 2, 3, 4 is all the same. So, you know, you just get the one, you play it, and you're done. So that's a decent enough little thing to it. So all in all, you know, it's a Bugs Bunny game. It's a basic little game for pretty much all ages. Has a few little cruxes, few little issues, but for the most part, it's a fun little puzzler that's a little unique in its puzzling nature. We've seen a few other games that have the enemy, as most of the puzzle, like the Lolos and a couple other ones, but it does lend itself to being a somewhat unique, somewhat different, and just decently enough fun, perfect for Game Boy. You know, you play a couple levels, you get your password, you move on, you come back, you play a little bit more. You can have a lot of fun with it without putting in a lot of time or a lot of energy. It's a good little brain teaser, and just something to sit down and play with here and there, to pass a little bit of time and just have a good time and relax. So all in all, it's a decent little play that if you like anything even remotely close, I recommend giving it a go and trying it out. So with that being said, guys, thanks so much for joining. Until next time, have a good one.